Shalom, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Harakakodash, Brakatah. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles, the great millstone, for teaching us this truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing this truth with sincerity in Babylon. All right, so the way the Spirit works is, I was actually, I opened my Bible to Habakkuk 2. I started reading it, and sometimes when you read a chapter, you start to realize, like, you remember where things, where it says certain things. And so, today, this morning, I played a video. It was Apostle Tahar, and right when he started doing his lesson, the first thing he started talking about was Habakkuk 2. So I said, okay, that's the Spirit. I gotta do a lesson in Habakkuk 2. So, but that's how the Spirit works. So this is a Habakkuk 2 and 1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. So, you see again, the elect are, one of the metaphors for the elect is a tower, because if you're on a tower, you can see a long distance, right? As opposed to if you're just, on the ground, there's going to be things in the way, you won't be able to see a long distance. But if you're in a tower, that's different. And that's like a metaphor for the prophets. We're able to see further out than a normal person, because we study the Holy Scripture, and the Scriptures, the Holy Spirit is dealing with us, you see. So let's go to a precept real quick. Psalms 85 and 8. It says, I will hear what Yahweh thy power will speak, for he will speak peace unto his people and to his saints, but let them not turn again to folly. All right. So showing you that tower is dealing with the prophets, who are the saints. Go to Isaiah 21 and verse 8. It says, and he cried, a lion, my Yahushai, I stand continually upon the watchtower in the daytime, and I am set in my ward whole nights. You see? So, as an elect man, you need to stand continually on the watchtower, meaning continually submerge yourself, baptize yourself in these verses. All right. So, one of the metaphors, like I said, for the prophets is a tower. All right. And not only that, we are looking down. If you're on a tower, you have to look down at other people. So we're raised above the people who are not, in this truth of ours. Let's go back to Habakkuk 2, and we're at 2. It said, and Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. You see, so he told Habakkuk, the prophet Habakkuk, hey, just write this vision, make it plain, meaning, make it plain, exactly what it said. Make it, it's not complicated. It's not complicated what the prophets saw. They all wrote the same thing down. They saw Babylon, America being destroyed, you see. And that's why it says that he may run that readeth it, meaning out of fear, Well, the prophet Esdras, he was, one of the comments he said is, hey, who will save me in that day, Let me see if I can pull that verse, because I don't know off the top where it's at. So let's see. Who will save me in that day? KJV. Hold on a second. Who will save me in that day? KJV. Let me see. Let me see what Isaiah says. 25 and 9. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Who will save me in that day? KJV, Esdras. Oh, yeah, that's it. There we go. Let's see. Second Esdras. All right. Second Esdras. And we're going to 16:17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, the powers shall stand in fear, and beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? You see, because the prophets could see this destruction and this, because woe means destruction. You know, the prophets would see these visions and they were terrifying to the prophets, you know. That's why Esdras asked, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? You see? Because the Yahweh is a terrifying power, you know. Unlike these Christians teach and portray him as, you know. They say he loves everybody and he's harmless. But, you know, when you read the Bible, you understand that it's the opposite. You know, he's the Lord of hosts, meaning the Lord of armies, you know. Let's go back to Habakkuk. Chapter 2, verse 3. It says, let me see. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped. But at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. See? And like Apostle Tar said, it's speaking loud right now, you know, especially over there in Minneapolis, where they have the protests and they're burning the city down, you know, and it's just, you know, brings me to the verse Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha. Let me see. 9 and 3. Oh, that's not it. Let me see. That's not the verse I was looking for. Uproars of the people, KJV Apocrypha. Alright. Oh, this is also in 2nd Esdras. So I guess the Spirit wants to go to 2nd Esdras today. 2nd Esdras, I thought it was Ecclesiastes 9 and 3. It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. All right. So these prophets spoke in the, you know, in the scriptures, which were, you know, over 2,500 years ago, over 2,000 years ago at least, and you know, they may seem like it's tarrying to the, you know, common man, but like we read in the Bible in Habakkuk, it said, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. You see? And here are the things that the prophets were speaking, uproars of the people. I mean, if a riot in Minneapolis is not an uproar of the people, then what is? You know, you tell me. You had Hong Kong protests. You had Venezuela was getting crazy. You had what was it? The France, the yellow jackets or the yellow vests, whatever they call them. That was a bunch of uproars of the people. You see, because people are getting uneasy about things that are going on, and like Apostle Tahar was saying, hey, I was putting the spirits on these people to do these, to riot, to putting the spirit on cops to kill Jake, you know. So we're living in some heavy times right now, Habakkuk 2, and we're at verse 4. Actually, let's go to a precept. Psalms 27 and 14. And it says, wait on Yahweh, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai B'Hashem. You see? That's going to be our courage. That's going to be our strength, man. We're not going to be able to deliver ourselves from this devil whose blessing is the sword, Let's see. Go back to Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yeah, also, no, I'm at 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. You see? That's what we're doing, we're living by our faith, we're living by the faith that the chariots are going to deliver us, we've seen the chariots, Matter of fact, I was outside last night, on my trampoline laying down, just looking for chariots, and, the Lord revealed 4 chariots to me last night, They were high up, small balls of light, looks like stars, but they were crossing the sky at a fast pace, you see. So those kind of things build a man in this truth, faith. Build his faith, You have to lay there in awe, and just knowing that, hey, that's going to be our salvation, Verse 5. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. But gathereth unto him all nations. And heapeth unto him all people. And that's talking about the Edomites, because they're the ones who gather themselves among all nations. They put their nose in every single nation's business, and they transgress it by wine, because they've given our people all of these false religions and these false doctrines, and keeping our people in darkness, and really enlarging hell, like it says in verse 5 here, you see. Because what's hell? Hell is when America gets set on fire. Who's going to get set on fire? It's the 2/3 and the heathen, Let's go to the precept. 13:8. Zechariah 13:8. It says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai B'Hashem, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried, and they shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my power. You see? That's the fire, the hell, that the Edomites are enlarging, because Yahweh is going to kill all of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who do not hearken to this truth, The prophets from your own race, your own nation, are bringing out this truth, but yet you reject the knowledge, you see? You reject the knowledge, therefore you have to face judgment. And that thing, like everybody, all the prophets have been saying, that was judgment that happened to George Floyd, You can't be careless as a Jake in society, especially with the police, man. But you know what? We read that verse that said he neither keepeth at home and he gathers all nations. Well, let me show you something, just because through the Spirit I looked it up. How many international military... Oops, that's the devil right there, not letting me look it up. Let's try it again. Oh, man, what's up with that? Let's see if we can get this to work. Oh, look at that. Google won't work when I'm trying to look up some dirt on Esau, but Google won't work. Let's try it this way. How many international... What the heck? Shit usually works. How many... Okay, let me see. I'm gonna do it on this other device. Maybe it's because I'm recording it. Well, I don't know why it's not working, but let me do it on this other device. See if we can get it to work. How many international military bases does the United States have?
According to Wikipedia, the United States is the largest operator of military bases abroad, with 38 named bases having active duty, National Guard, Reserve or civilian personnel as of September 30th, 2014.
All right, so earlier I pulled something up. Let me see. How many military bases does the United States have?
800 military bases. According to Politico, despite recently closing hundreds of bases in Iraq and Afghanistan, the United States still maintains nearly 800 military bases in more than 70 countries and territories abroad, from giant Little Americas to small radar facilities.
All right, so in both times I looked this up just now, it gave me two different answers. It says 800 military bases. That's what I looked up earlier. And then also 70 operating military bases in different countries, 70 different countries. So by far, the United States has, military bases in every, all these different nations. But let's read that again. Yeah, also, verse 5. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. You see? Because that's what he does. Esau he's in everybody's business, He wants to enforce his new world order, Verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. You see, so woe meaning destruction to him that increases that which is not his. All right? America is not even the so-called white man's, This was the Israelites dwelled here before these Edomites came out here, and they used their blessing, the sword, to conquer the Gadites, the Reubenites, and all of the Israelites who were here on in this North and South America. Verse 7. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? All right, so this is talking about the other nations waking up and rising up against Babylon. Verse 8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land of the city, and all of that dwell therein. All right, so let's go get some precepts. But the future of America, if you're a patriot, if you're a patriotic American and a proud, whatever they call red-blooded American, you're basically gonna get destroyed. That's what the Bible says. These are not our words. This is what the Bible, what we're reading. Isaiah 33:1. Woe, meaning destruction, to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled, and when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. Because these Edomites are going to get fucked up in this World War III. That's coming close, coming quickly, you know. People don't see it, but it's coming because, you know, all of the signs are in place. You know, this place is becoming, you know, like Donald Trump says, a shithole. Well, America is becoming a shithole, you know. You talk to people, you know, that have been to other cities, and they'll tell you, oh, this so-and-so city is just dirty. Oh, downtown Denver, dirty. Oh, Las Vegas, that place is dirty. It's all going run down, man. The infrastructure of the United States is, I think when they did a grade on it, it was like a D minus, something horrible like that, you know? This place is literally, you know, it's falling apart at the seams, you know? Let's see, Habakkuk, verse 2, and we're at verse 9. And it says, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. That's those 2/3 in the heathen and in Esau, Edom, you know, the ones that are going to get fucking destroyed and annihilated during the nuclear war. You know, but like I said earlier, there are going to be a remnant that's going to be saved via the so-called UFOs and the chariots, you know. And we see the chariots all the time, you know. Verse 11, for the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity. And who did that? You know, who they slaughtered and murdered and raped, and, you know, basically tried to do their best to destroy the Native Americans when they took over in America, you know. Meaning they built this country on blood, you know. 13, behold, it is not of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem of hosts, that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity. Or is it not of, okay, you see? So you 2/3, you're trying to labor in this fire, which is going to be, America's going to be burnt to a crisp. But you're putting all your value and all your success and all your energy into this society, you know. You know, you 2/3, you Jakes that don't want to believe this truth, you want to believe the devil, the so-called white man. You know, you're going to be consumed in that fire, and you're laboring, trying to get ahead, trying to be preeminent in Babylon. All right, look up that word, preeminent. It's and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity. That's what happens in Babylon. Verse 14, for the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, as the waters cover the sea. You see, and that's what's going on right now, because this truth is being preached to all the uttermost parts of the earth because of the internet. You know, let's get that. The truth shall be preached to the uttermost parts of the earth. KJV. All right, so let's go to, it's in Matthew. Oh, I should have known Matthew 24. Matthew 24, and it's at verse 14. It says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. All right. So like Apostle Tahar had mentioned, he said they've been on the internet since 2006. So that's just, about 14 years that that this truth has been, reaching out to all, ends of the earth, It said, let me read it again. 14, Matthew 24:14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. All right, so that's why you're seeing everything get heated up in Minneapolis, and the vaccines, the microchip, the COVID, pretty soon the missiles and the chariots. These are all modern plagues, and this end is gonna come, man. This end is gonna come, and you people. You 2/3, you think like the heathen, you think like the Edomite, because he's put that in your head that this place is, he told you the Bible wasn't real, but, he told you this place is the, gonna be the land forever, That's the mindset of you people. Let's get that. Psalm 49:11. It says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. You 2/3, you Hispanic and Latinos and so-called Negroes, your inward thought is that this place is going to continue forever. But we're telling you that this place won't continue forever, all right? Because Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem is going to destroy this place with the nuclear missiles and along with the chariots. There's going to be great destruction coming to Babylon, America, all right? And if you take a microchip, well, you just signed your soul to the devil, like they say, like with the music industry, right? They say they sold their soul. That's what you're doing when you take that microchip, except you're not going to get famous. You're just going to get a grievous sore in your fucking hand, and, you're going to know you did the wrong thing when Yahweh Shai cracks the clouds, But a lot of you going to take that chip, man, even though right now you're saying you won't. The only way you can endure is if you're an elect, or if you gather this oil, How do you endure if you have no wisdom, if you have no knowledge of this truth, Half of these 2/3 aren't even gonna, they're not even gonna consider that it's the mark of the beast when they take it, Excuse me. All right, let's see where we at. We're in Habakkuk 2 and 14. No. Oh, yeah, let's read that again. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, as the waters cover the sea, right? So that's what's happening right now. This earth is being filled with the knowledge and glory, and it's going to even get more filled up when all these plagues start hitting America, Just like in ancient Egypt, there were multiple plagues. Well, just like the same thing is happening in spiritual Egypt, right? Which is Babylon, America. All right, let's see, 15. Actually, you know what? I want to pull out a precept. Psalms 22:7 says, All they that see me laugh me to scorn. They shoot out the lip, they shake the head, saying, He trusteth on Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, that he would deliver him. Let him deliver him, seeing he delighted in him. You see? So these 2/3 and these heathen, they don't believe this report. They don't believe our report. They don't believe the Bible. And why is that? Why are there so many so-called Negroes, Latinos, and so-called Native Americans that are out there that don't believe in this Bible? It's because the white man has polluted their fucking mind. The devil has polluted them. I started this new gig, and this guy that trained me, he's a so-called Latino, and his whole deal is he wants to be, he wants to be successful in this job that we work at. It's like, bro, he's only gonna let you go a certain you can only go so far is what I'm trying to say, which is not very far at all, no matter what you do. So, and then, on break, he wants to tell me, he's an atheist, and that he busts out this, the people he believe, because he don't want to believe the truth, but he'll believe some English professor who went to a theology school, and he busts out a video of this woman. He's like, watch this video. And I watched 2 minutes of the video, and I could just see that the woman, she was making claims without backing anything up with scripture, And that's the problem with our people. They want to give so much credence and reverence to these false prophets, but they don't want to take the time to, hey, maybe you could have learned something. Maybe you could have saved yourself. Maybe you could have saved your family by having an open ear of somebody who, we don't look like anything special. I'm talking about the men who teach this truth. We don't look like anything special to our own people, right? They'll believe a professor who's wearing a suit and tie, and before they believe their own people who actually have the word who Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem is actually dealing with. But our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, man. They shut down the notion of the truth, and they choose wickedness instead, So, the men of the truth who are gaining experience in this truth, one of the things you learn is hey, you don't even want to share it with these 2/3 because they're literally just bugged out. And why are they bugged out? Because this fucking Edomite has transgressed them with wine, meaning false doctrines, like we read in Habakkuk. Let's go to verse 15 again. Read it again. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. You see? So like this dude right here that I'm talking about on that, I work with, woe unto him because, and then really woe unto Esau because he gave this so-called Latino this drink, and he put the bottle to him, meaning he gave him this doctrine. He gave him this knowledge. He taught him how to be separated from his true power. All right. And now it says, then thou mayest look on their nakedness. Well, now they're naked because when you have no knowledge of that's a metaphor for, because if you don't have no knowledge of the truth, then you're not going to know what's wicked and what's righteous. All right. You're going to be ass backwards, and therefore you become naked, meaning shameful. You see? And all these 2/3 are shameful and naked. And pretty soon they're going to be burnt up. You're going to have to learn this truth, repent to this truth. Otherwise, you have no future, man. You'll get the kingdom, but you got to die in the fire first. All right? If you're an Israelite. Let's go to Genesis 9:22. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his 2 brethren without. You see? So it's a shameful thing. This is when Ham was being a homosexual and trying to look at Noah's junk when Noah was naked. So that's the same thing of these 2/3. They're fucking butt-ass naked because of their transgression, their shame. It's shame. It's a shameful thing to not know the truth in 2020, It really is. It's a shame. Because why is it a shame? Because you have a fucking computer in your hands. You can look up anything, Jeremiah 51:7, it says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand and made all the earth drunken, and the nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad, meaning the nations are insane, man. Babylon America is the cup. You know, you want to drink all the fucking abominations out of the cup. Like, you know, that's an example. The guy that I work with, he wants to give all his, you know, belief and credence to a English, female English scholar who went to theology school, you know, and he wants to put her on a pedestal. That means he's drinking from the cup of Babylon. You know, he's not he's not hearkening to the prophets, you know. And why is it? Because he thinks, you know, the prophets are not going to be you know, they're not going to be somebody that you look up and you go run to and say, oh man, teach me this truth. Oh, it's going to be the opposite, man. They've been humbled. You know, the prophets have been humbled and they've hearkened and they've repented, you know, to the point we don't even shave our beard, you know. And what kind of society is Babylon, you know, clean cut, you know. And, you know, he just looks at me as like I'm just another nigga or I'm just another fucking beaner or whatever, you know. That's how our own people view each other. But when that white man in that tuxedo or that white woman who's a professor in theology school in England, oh, okay, now she's you know, he'll stop and listen to her and consider her theology, all right? But he's not going to consider his own brother from, you know, the guy he's probably a Gedite, you know. He's not going to consider the truth that we can teach him and have to offer because our people literally reject the knowledge, you see. Which is fine, you know, we're not offended by it. It's just prophecy being fulfilled when we go around and we start to see you know, the how mad, like we just read. Let's read it again in the last part. What was it? It says, yeah, let's just read it all. Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand and made all the earth drunken. Because the whole earth is drunken off of Babylon's false doctrines and bullshit. The nations have drunken of her wine. All these nations, they've drank off the Babylonian wine. You know, that's why you have Chinese people who are Moabites. They're so-called Catholics, you know, and they'll tell you. Or you have Arabs who will tell you they're Christians, you know. It's because all these nations are drinking off the wine of Babylon. I mean, I don't know how you people out there don't see this. It's plain, like we read. We started out this. Let's go back to it. But actually, you know what? There was something good I wanted to read on that. Let's go back real quick. Verse 8, Jeremiah 51:8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. All right? Meaning, Yahweh is going to deal with Babylon, man, ever so severely. Destruction, you know? Perdition. That's the future of Babylon America, you know? And why? Because we've been reading it. All of the influence that Babylon has had on all the nations, they're drinking off the wine, all right? Meaning they're hearkening to these false doctrines and you know, causing our own people, the Israelites, to go off, all right? So we're going back to Habakkuk 2, and I'm at 16 now. Thou art filled with shame for glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. So you see, the time to repent is right now, to get out of Babylon, you know, get out of the mindset, get out of thinking, you know, like today I was, you know, because I do 2 jobs, you know, I was doing my new job, and then I was doing some DoorDash today, and I go to this, you know, establishment and to get some food, and I look over and they're having a fucking women in yoga pants, all these Edomite women in yoga pants, playing some loud music. They were playing the song that when I was standing there was Monica. That, remember that song, the boy is mine. You had all these fucking Edomite women who literally left their house this morning at like 7 o'clock, put on their yoga pants, and then just to go do some leg kicks and to do some straddles and some bends and some exercise in the middle of the city. Literally, like that's out of order. I'm sitting there looking at this. It's like a spectacle. When you're in this truth, you become vexed. You look and you see the shame of what they're wearing first. It shows, because when a woman wears yoga pants, I mean, come on now, camel toe, booty shaking, I mean, it's all out there. There's really nothing for the imagination to be seen. So just you glance over, you see these women all who woke up at 7 a.m. to go shake their asses in the middle of a parking lot, because they had like a little place closed off where they were doing their exercise. And I'm thinking, man, we are definitely in Babylon. You're not supposed to have your women out there shaking their ass where any man can see, in yoga pants. And whether women want to admit it or not, the yoga pants are literally a wicked thing, because it causes other men to lust for you, especially if you're a married woman. And if you're a virgin, if you're a young woman who has not been touched yet, well, now you're just defiling yourself with wickedness. But American women can't take that correction. You can't tell like if I walked over and told them women, hey, y'all are wicked for doing this, that they're gonna be offended by me. They're gonna call the cops on me, and they're gonna say I was being hateful toward them, and I would be the one to get in trouble, because this place is backwards. You see, verse 17. For the violence of Lebanon shall cover thee in the spoil of beasts which have made them be afraid because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land of the city and of all that dwell therein. All right, what profiteth the graven image that the maker thereof hath graven it, the molten image and a teacher of lies, and that the maker of his work trusted therein to make dumb idols. Woe unto him that saith to the wood, awake. All right. So when you're telling Christianity to awake, that's destruction to you, because wood is dealing with Christianity. Let's read that again. Woe unto him that saith to the wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise, it shall teach. All right, a stone, which is dealing with Islam. You got Christianity and Islam, the two biggest religions in the world. That's what verse 19 is speaking about. So, but they can't do either one. They can't awake and they can't teach. Why? Because it's a piece of wood and it's a stone. It's a rock. Let's read it again. Woe unto him that saith to the wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise, it shall teach. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it. But Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. All right? So the best thing you can do when we're out there teaching this truth is literally just keep silence, and hopefully you can get edified. If you're part of the elect, you will. If you're not, or part of the 1/3, you'll listen. If you're not, if you're a 2/3 nigga, or if you're a fucking heathen, you're not going to receive this truth very well. You see, let me show you, because it said silence. Be silent before the Lord and his prophets. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 5:1. It says, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of Yahweh, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before Yahweh. For Yahweh is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few. You see? So let your words be few. Even the prophets, have to hold back, when we're out there. We got to respect each other's, lesson when another brother's talking. But then you have these heathen and these 2/3 that don't even study the Bible. They've just heard a few things or learned a few things in Christianity, and then they want to give their own vain opinions. They want to sacrifice to fools, like it says in verse 5 and 1. But it says, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of Yahweh, and be more ready to hear. So shut the fuck up and just listen. Don't come to the camp and try to teach us. All right, because for one, we're not going to debate you. We're not going to compare notes. And not only that, we have already done our work. We've already done the work, all right? We've already read the stuff we're supposed to. We take this on with a passion, with a we have a zeal for knowledge, or we have a zeal for Yahweh according to knowledge, unlike you 2/3 and you heathen. So don't come up challenging the camp. Just come up to the camp, and if you do, just shut the fuck up. You might learn something, all right? And you can see in our own videos that, hey, when that happens, people get edified, Just last week, we had 2 brothers listening at the camp, and they didn't go up there and blab their mouths off. No, they were listening, all right? And at the end of the day, at the end of the camp that day, hey, all our spirits were lifted, including the men that were not in the camp, And it's because they did the simple thing of what it says to do here in Ecclesiastes 5:1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of Yahweh. Be more ready to hear. All right? Don't go up there and try and teach the prophets. There's nothing you can teach us, You can't oppress us no more if you're a modern Christian or a pastor or whatever, Oh, we have the truth now. Let me see. Verse 3, Revelation 1 and 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. You see? So we all have our Bibles in our hands, man. So when you come up to the church, which is camp, just listen. How hard is that? Blessed is he that readeth. You have 5 grown-ass men with Bibles in their hand. What do you think that we do with those Bibles? Don't you think that we read them? Where's your Bible? If you come to the camp, where's your Bible? All right? Can you even, pull out a verse to back up what you're saying? Can you even understand the verses that you're reading? You see? Let me go back to Mark 4:11. And he said unto them, unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of Yahweh, but unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables, that seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand, lest at any time they should be converted and their sins should be forgiven them. You see? So you may have a Bible in your hand, but you don't even understand what you're reading. You see it, but you don't perceive it. You hear it, but you don't understand it. So, with that, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles, the great millstone, for teaching us this truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akim pushing this truth with sincerity. All right, shalom to the elect. May you endure to the end.